bringing you the latest news from Frenship Athletics. This is the Tiger Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. I'm Randy Rosetta. This is 100.7 The Score. This is the high school fan zone. We're going to switch gear. Oh, we have already switched gears to basketball. This is like I'm covering all the bases here. We went wrestling, girls basketball. Now we're talking to Paul Page, the Frenship boys coach, whose team is getting ready to jump into district. What'd you tell me what'd you call your schedule the other day? Was it like the Baton Death March?
No, something like that.
Because you finished up with a pretty tough opponent. And we talked a little bit about finishing up with Liberty, number, I believe, 10th ranked Liberty in 4A. And you'd asked me about them a few times. I said, yeah, they're pretty good. They got a lot of good pieces. And you got a firsthand view of it. They beat you pretty good, but they've done that to a lot of people. And I think you probably need to get on Tony Wagner a little bit. I think that Estacado may have poked the bear a little bit the week before and kind of got their attention.
It's just such a game of matchups. How we beat Estacado and played really well and match up well. And of course Tony and I go way back, so I kind of know the ins and outs. But and then we just don't match up with Liberty size wise. And you saw that with us in West Plains. It's just. We just don't have the guard height to match those, and it just shows with rebounding and loose balls and things like that. So, definitely a matchup situation. It's just funny how you can beat one team and then that team beats the other team, but that's basketball. That's why you play tournaments, because anything can happen.
Well, we've talked about this. Katie Farrell, the Coronado girls coach, was as you were walking in, she was talking about how a realignment's going to change things, and Frenship's going to be maybe the team or school that's affected the most by realignment, because you guys will be 5A. So there's going to be a lot more matchups that are going to be familiar to people moving forward.
Right, definitely. And it's you already play those people. I mean, we already know because that's our pre-district.
Yep.
And now that's going to become a district game, and so you play them twice, of course, but now we're going to have to go search out pre-district games, and that we like when we go to San Angelo on Friday. It'll be the second time all year that we've got on a bus to go play a match game.
Really?
That's it.
Okay.
We went to Canyon Randall, and then Friday night will be our second time to get on a bus to go play a match game other than tournaments.
Yeah, if the bus trip in longer than 2 hours, do you really count it as a road trip?
Well,
you still got to stop and eat out of here. We'll count it. Plus, you got to see, tell me the Randall coach's name. I've met him several times.
Trevor Johnson.
Yep, he's the guy who stepped into some very famous and rest in peace coach shoes.
Leslie Broadhurst. He's done a great job. Shoot it, Pat.
Yep, there we go. And they
shoot it, Pat. Bang.
Have to get into some haps, and he made it there.
He did.
That worked pretty well for 3 years.
I said it a lot. Shoot it, Pat.
Yes, you did. And you don't get to say that this year. We've talked to Coach before about different things. We've talked about tournaments. We're going to stick to what his team is doing right now and what they're getting ready to head into. I'm just double checking here, and I figured this was the case because sometimes I think the folks who vote on the TABC forget that there's 6A basketball on this side of the state. Because I know San Angelo's 20-4.
19-4, I believe.
19-4,
yeah.
And there's no hint of them in the rankings.
Nah, they're not that. If we couldn't get ranked last year,
right?
And we're regional finalists,
Yeah.
But a lot of that had to do with an 0-5 start because you're waiting on 7 football players.
Right.
And when you see that, and that's what happens in West Texas, we have to contribute everything we got, especially at the 6A level, athlete-wise. Like we share. They don't do that in the Metroplex.
You share. So, you want if you're watching on TV, you might see Paul Page's head change of color here a little bit. You don't only have to share, but then you get guys who are coming back for their senior year who wind up going to play football somewhere else,
and you lose them.
You don't share them anymore.
Right.
3 years in a row.
3 years in a row. Yeah, and that's good. I mean, it's good to have those kids. And I told Parker that last night. Use him while you got him.
Yes, because he's got it.
Because
Coleman Hendricks will fit
take him away from you in a heartbeat. So.
And that's one of I love covering high school sports. I'm very glad with what's going on in the world of college sports right now. But that's the one thing that drives me a little bit crazy now is that now high school athletes, if they're really good football players, they're playing 3.5 years instead of 4 years, and that maybe it's just the old man in me. I loved high school, loved being there for 4 years. I think you miss out on some stuff when you, and I don't know if your guys came back and went to prom or went to stuff like that, but I think you miss out on that last few months.
Right. Well, it just depends on your team and your situation. But, we've been blessed to have really good, talented players that, need to go on and do that. And definitely missed Chase Campbell this year. And so, but, it's next man up or next opportunity up. And so we've had the opportunity to do that this year and excited about what's to come. And
we're going to talk about laying the foundation for moving forward. We're going to come up on the first break here on the Tiger Fan Zone. I'm Randy Rosetta. It's 100.7 The Score. We'll be right back.
Diving headfirst into Frenship athletics. You're listening to the Tiger Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back into the Tiger Fan Zone. I'm Randy Rosetta. This is 100.7 The Score. Frenship coach Paul Page. I asked you the other day, 12th year.
12th year.
12th year. You and Hilliard got there the same time?
Correct. We both got there in 14, the time that Frenship was going 6A.
And now you're there when you're turning the corner again. Going to be a 5A program. All of that comes into clearer focus for real in about 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
I believe so. I'm pretty day-to-day right now.
Yeah, I understand because you're in the middle of a basketball season when I want to say this so I don't get kicked over here. I've always enjoyed watching you coach. Whenever I come home from covering your game, my wife's gotten to the point. She said, "How was Paul tonight?" And I'll have a story. Like the other day,
oh gosh,
gym was fairly empty. One of your guys did something. You said, "Stop that before you give me another heart attack."
Oh gosh.
And I thought if Jennifer Page is here, he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Right. It's not because I don't tell him that every day.
That's so what you guys told me. But I've enjoyed watching you coach this year, and not that you guys always coach them hard. You always coach, but you're having to coach a little bit different this year. And for people who don't know, Frenship came into this year with exactly one guy who played substantial varsity minutes. That's Hayden Wilson. Now, if you're going to have one guy, that's a pretty good guy
one to have
to build with. But you're going through a little bit of what CJ Villegas is at Memorial with just freshmen and sophomores. Who's the other? Tony Wagner a little bit, but he had Shakur back.
Right.
You got to coach a team a little bit different when you're coaching kind of from the grassroots.
Oh, you do, and it's day to day. I mean, because it's just like film is different, practice is different, intense. So you do, and I mean, and it really you coach in December for January. And that's what we had to do because we were just so young and inexperienced. Is coach December for January, and it's really started to take a hold over the last couple of weeks as we've really started to climb, and then like I said last night, it's just a game of matchups, but we really usually don't play that game the week of district, but we needed a game, and so but yeah, it's definitely a group that has bought into it though. I mean they just run to it every day, and so you can see how much growth we've had this season.
And I mentioned this before we went to break. Now you're coaching for this team this season. You have Hayden and how many other seniors?
We have 5 seniors total.
So you're coaching those guys because you want them to have as much success as you want. But you're as coaches, you start to think ahead. You're looking at your younger guys now, and you're thinking, okay, they're getting better here. Now if we get to the offseason, you can start tinkering around a little bit. You guys have the framework to be a good team again next year.
Oh, we do. We definitely do. And we feel like we're going to make a run in this district because of the gauntlet of our schedule. It has put us in
death march.
It has put us in a great position because we feel like we've been battle tested, and because of the schedule we've played, we've had to grow a lot, and the coaching that we've had, and so. We feel primed and ready for district coming Friday, and then like you said, yeah, definitely bring back a good group of guys, good core guys for next year.
Because that's the reason I brought up San Angelo not being ranked, because if I looked at this list, I bet I'd find 10 teams you've played that are TIBC rankings.
Yeah, included number 2 in the 5A Birdville.
Yep. And I'll say this too: you've played Monterey, and Monterey's not on there right now. But if they keep doing some stuff, they may wind up there. Right. He's got a really good team this year. He's got a team kind of like you did last year, where seniors who came back ready to play that last year. You mentioned your district. San Angelo's 19-4. I've seen Permian play. Their record's not great, but Permian may have the best player in your district.
They do. I mean, they could. They got two really good guards. Matchup wise is good because they don't have a big, and so we feel good about that. So yeah, they're going to be good again. They're always good. So we expect, and that's going to be Tuesday night here.
Yep. You guys, you just like the rest of your schedule. You don't wade in slowly.
No.
You start off with a road game at San Angelo, then Permian.
Here we go.
And Odessa High's got a nice record. Without seeing, I'm going to guess they've not played maybe quite the caliber of schedule of you guys.
Right, and they'll be solid. They bring back an all-district player from last year who was a sophomore, the coach's son, and he's got them going. So they'll be a team that you have to be really prepared for and ready for each time.
But we'll just go back to what you've said and what I've said. I can't imagine any of those other 5 teams have played a schedule quite as challenging as yours. And you've taken some lumps, 7-14 coming in, which is when you look at it, it's hard for me to fathom Frenship being at 7-14, but it is what it is. What does this team have to do even better now? I saw you your 2 games before this, and I told you afterwards you looked a lot more like Frenship.
Right. No, we just have to. We continue to get better. I mean, we're defensively. We're like we told the guys last night. We feel as comfortable as we did with any group, other than rebounding, because we're just so small at the guards that we can guard anybody in this league. But then we got to, when we put the ball in the hole, like we did in the last couple of games, that allows us to control tempo. And when we're controlling tempo with our pressure and our aggressive defense, good things happen for us.
And they're going to put that to a test for real. Everything's for real, but in district games, starting Friday on the road at San Angelo Central. We're going to wrap up in the Tiger Fan Zone, come back after this break in the Pirate Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.